What's up, Blue Chips? How we doing this morning? A little bit more on time today. My son is being interesting this morning. Let's see what we got here. Step so far outside your comfort zone that you forget how to come back. Well, let's get to it. All right, that's a pretty solid one. To get good at this game, you really have to step outside your comfort zone, so I really like that one a lot. Apparently, I had that up on the wrong screen. Let's see what we got going on here. I am just catching up. Let's see. Reading the Discord, checking the gappers. Let's see. SPY is gapping up per usual. This thing won't quit. Tesla's trying to get back up there towards 1,000. Thing's crazy. I think this thing will touch 1,000. Might go through with some momentum. Maybe like, I don't even know, like 50, 100 over, like through 1,000. And then I really think we're going to get a nice retracement out of that thing. I mean, we already had a pretty good retracement all the way down under 700, but I don't know. That thing's still a little overvalued, especially up at these prices. So some people are buying into the hype, though. That's kind of why it keeps rising. So now the fact that it's going back up, I definitely think we're going to get a little momentum up there to at least 1,000. Ooh, let's see. Everybody taking today off? We only got 2 of you in here today. What's going on? Let's see. Or some other gurus streaming today. Let's see. I was going to look for something. I guess I can pull Vive up here. I don't have any shares there. Lower float anyway. First thing with a decent float, I mean, I guess quad isn't too bad. We have no shares there, though. ENPH. This is a nice one. Let's see what everyone else has up here. Yeah, we don't have any of the MY. Yeah, MYO is a lower float. Vive is low float. We were just talking about how, is it GMPX? This thing put out an offering this morning. Fun times, right? Let's gap that thing up pre-market and then, bam, unleash the offering. That's what these low floats do, guys. That's what they do. That's why you stay away from them. You never know when that offering's coming. To read that later. All right, well, I'm really just going to kind of sit here to the bell, see what my son wants. No, we're not opening those. No. You already gave them one. He's obsessed with giving the dog treats. No. I was just looking real quick. ENPH, it kind of looked like an earnings play from yesterday. So, to be completely honest, this thing is probably a long. I'd be pretty long biased on this. Maybe look for dips to get in. Because this thing is at all-time highs, had good earnings. Wouldn't really be too crazy about going short on this one. I mean, unless it gets overly extended. We'll definitely keep this one up. See what happens. See, we can't find one more to have up here. SBGL, no shares there. PLUG, I think we played that one not too long ago. Might have been to the long side. GRMN, it's a little pricey. SENS. Yeah, I mean, we're getting down into what the heck kind of candle is that? A little pricey as well. What's BBBY doing? BBBY is one that we usually have shares on. Not always, though, as you can see. Constantine, what's going on, man? That thing was cool, Constantine. Just watching it do its thing. That was pretty sweet. I liked it. I hate ignoring my son, but when it gets close to the bell, I kind of have to if I want the chance of trading. Because if I start paying full attention to him, there isn't much I can do, because then he's going to want my full attention. Jeff, what's going on, man? Good morning. An SPCE thing. Man, that thing has been going to the moon. CTSO. Yeah, we don't have shares there. Yeah, SPCE tried to drop at the end of the day yesterday, and now it's just gapping back up. So we got about 2.5 minutes here to the bell. BBBY is not on our watch list here. I mean, really, the only thing we have right now is ENPH. We'll see what it wants to do. It's on earnings, so just be careful if you're looking to play it. I mean, either way. But we'll be looking to see if this thing wants to get pretty extended away from this area, this 45 area. Like that. Jeez, look at this thing just popping. Oh. Did I miss the bell by 2 minutes? What the heck's going on here? I think we wanted a wash there at the bell and try to get long for that pop, but it said, we're just going to do it before the bell. Pretty crazy move there. Got up to 48.17. Really not much we can do about it. I'm not going to play it pre-market here. If this wants to shoot right up to 50, though, I'll tell you, I'd be pretty interested in playing it. 50 tends to be a pretty solid area of support. Got about 25 seconds here to the bell. Good luck to everybody today. If you missed the quote today, it was a good one. I'm going to say it again. Step so far out of your comfort zone. Step so far outside your comfort zone that you forget how to get back. It's a pretty good one. So remember that. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There we go. Thomas, what's up? Christian, what's up? Good luck, everybody. See if we can't get this thing up near 50. We're going to start this thing 49.40. This is way extended. Here we go for the 50 pop. Got to add there. Look at this thing go. I got 50.25. The high got the 51.16 there. Alrighty. Look at that spread. Definitely started this one a little early. Look at this thing just rocket. I told you guys this should have been long on this one. All right, we're going to get our ad there. 52.44. We're just going to be patient here. So we get this retracement. Guess we'd be looking to at least get 50. Do 50. Do 25, I guess. We'll do 50.13. See if we can get the full point there. If this wants to go high a day, though, we might have to cut it. Put our order in here. All right, let's look around. I should put a range. I'm going to try to put a range in real quick. 50.13, and we're just going to stop out over 53.50. Let's cancel this one. Put this in. All right. Excuse me. All right, BKD. Let's look around. That's kind of a big move, but it's not really on any volume. AVXL, I don't think we have shares there, no. XPER, do have shares here. It's looking like ENPH is not done. We'll let it do its thing. TIVO. Oh, geez. All right, we got stopped out there. Hopefully that's not just a false break, but I mean, should have been long bias on that thing. I wanted to literally buy a dip here at the open, but this thing just shot up and extended itself, but crazy. All right, we'll revisit that one in a little bit. Man, excuse me. That kind of sucked. That was a quick loser there. Jeez. And that's why you have a plan, guys. Ouch. RMTI. There's a bunch of different things going on here. Daily. 850. 75, 60. I just don't like the volume there. I'm going to put ENPH down here so that I can check some other stuff out. Got 25, so about a point. See if we can't get the bid to come up here a little bit. Ugh, completely missed that. Spread was a little crazy there. EMBL, nothing there. SEDG, that's a little pricey. ENPH is just ripping, guys. This thing is nuts. Said G, it just doesn't have any volume. BE, we've played in the past. Man, I feel like we would have played this one. We missed it. That 1250 pop would have been nice. Dang it. I'd actually never got over 20. Alright, it's back up there. Let's see if we can get another push. There we go. There's that level here on the daily around 15. Gonna start BE here. Jeez, alright, we got a quick drop. I was kind of hoping it would hang out there for a second, but it went right through 50. It's 15 plus 30 is 45. Just trying to see if this wanted to test up there again. BKD's getting a little extended here. Watching BKD. The spread here on BE kind of sucks. BKD, I wanted it to maybe try high a day again there. We're not really that far extended on that. The volume kind of sucks. I feel like I got so flustered with ENPH to start. I kind of feel like I missed some things. Gonna get an ad here on BE just to get at least half size. We got all the way down here towards 12 is kind of what we were looking for it to retest. Dang, went right through 60 there. All right, we're going to get full size here. We're going to risk a little over high a day. Put that order in there. That's not going to be my actual cover order. I guess it actually could be, but see what that wants to give us. We'll put it at 12.10 for now. So got our range order in there. Give it a little bit of room at the stop. See if we can look around for something else. That's not a huge risk there as well. Just looking for that thing to maybe form a descending triangle and work its way down. Give it some room through high of day. If it wants to shoot up and hit that after it goes through high of day, then oh well. There it is, high of day now on the ask. Coming back down a little. That's what we're hoping. We're hoping that's a little bit of a fake out through high of day, try to hit some stops and come back down. That's the idea. But it's starting to look like an ascending triangle here, so we would need a pretty good failure. SCYX. No. High is moving too, but we don't have any shorts there. CPRX. Nothing there. ENPH is kind of just consolidating up there over 54. So good thing we got out there. It never even came back down to us. Tried 1250 there, and it got bought back up. See if we can get back down there and get through. Might actually get a nice pullback. COLL kind of sucked. I feel like we missed that one. The spread was just a little too much for me to jump in that. It was like a 25-cent spread. So we got full size here on BE, so I'm proud of that, and we got our stop in. So it's one of those ones where either it works or it doesn't. Then we're just kind of front running 12 a little bit if it does want to try to break down. But we need it to get through 50 first, and then we need it to get through this 30, 38 area. Let's try to be patient with it. BKD. We were looking at that one earlier, right? Yeah. This is one that we wanted to be a part of. Let's see. 8. Can actually get some decent size on this one. 9. See what it wants to do here at high of day on BKD. I kind of like the idea of getting a few more shares here just because of what our risk is. That way, if it works, get a decent return. Let's see. Does look like an ascending triangle though here. There it goes. See what it does here at 70. I don't have the button set to put my order right back at that 78 area, so I don't want to hit it and get stuck. I mean, I could just hit my cover button if I really wanted to. Alright, we're just going to do it real quick. 78. Oh, crap. Of course, that's exactly what I didn't want to happen. It started to happen. Try to put the range in real quick. Alright. We can just move this back up. So we added a couple more shares there, just so if it does work, it'll also raise our average just a little bit. And if it doesn't work, then oh well. But there's the little breakthrough high. Hopefully it's a little bit of a fake out breakout, and then we come down and get that retest of at least 1250. That's the idea here. TiVo. TiVo looks like it's grinding. We had that one kind of on our watch list. See if it wants to extend itself. It's got, jeez, he scared me. 850 is a pretty solid area of resistance. See if we can get a push like right up to it. Be right back, guys. Looked like it was trying to break down there. This thing's kind of just hanging out. Camden, I am not opening this, bud. No, because you would make an absolute mess. Not happening. Not happening, bud. Let's see if we can get that test of 50. Let's, kiddo, come on, bud. Look, I already put some in there. It's red. Oh, my. It's already in there. Testing my patience this morning. So I definitely like where our stop's at now. I was hoping we got the 50 test so that we could put a stop for at least half of our shares if it wanted to come back through, but we obviously didn't even get down to it yet. That was the idea I was at least thinking of. TiVo's not really doing what we wanted it to do. ENPH, this thing is just nuts. It's trying to go high a day again. Seems like BE is kind of fighting to go up as well. A lot of bottom wicks here, which is never a good sign. Lots of shares stacking in there around 70 though, so we'll see. BKD from earlier is not really doing anything. I'll have to go back through and see what we kind of missed. I think the only one that I feel like I actually missed was COLL. The spread kind of kept me out of it. Camden, I'm not opening it, bud. I'm sorry, no. No. You would make the biggest mess with that. One of these plays, eventually, when we get in, are going to make the appropriate descend after we get in, at least back down to VWAP. I feel like everything we've touched lately has just not reacted as normal, but we are in a pretty weird bull market right now. There it goes, trying 70 again. I'm just watching ENPH on my other chart. This thing is nuts. It's trying 58 now. Remember, we were back in at 50. This thing's up almost at 58 now. Kind of crazy. BE is just really slow. The volume kind of died out of it after we got in. So we're hoping the bulls kind of, or bears kind of step in here. I mean, it doesn't look good, right? I mean, looks like a textbook ascending triangle here, or bull flag, whatever people want to call it, more of an ascending triangle. So it's not looking great. That's kind of what we ran into yesterday as well. So we got our stop pretty much right above it. If it wants to work, it'll work. But, you know, I've seen triangles fail. That's why they're not 100%. Nothing's 100% in the stock market anyway. So hopefully we can get a nice little failed ascending triangle here. BLNK, strong buying. Got stopped at break even, looking to re-enter perhaps, but stock is known to trap both sides. Oh yeah, that thing looks super choppy. This kid is obsessed with these dog treats. I feel like if we can get back down into the 50s, we might get a nice little drop. But we need to not have a bottoming tail at some point. And if we can kind of break this trend line that has formed. If we can break that, it might be down to 1250 at least. There we go. We're kind of breaking the trend line here a little bit. See if we can actually break down. Oh, yeah. I even said it when I was in VG. I said if this thing breaks my stop, I mean, it was in an ascending triangle. So I totally agree with you. But unfortunately, I was in short. So there was really not much I could do about it. Let's see. Let's take a look at VG. Oh, wow. Yeah, look at that thing. Even if we were still holding from yesterday, we still would have been right around break even at this point. Actually, no, we would have been good. Oh, here goes BE. Breaking to the upside. Big shares there at 75. Went right through. Not good. There we go. We're on the ask right now. All right, and there we go. Got stopped out. So there goes the ascending triangle completing itself, and that's us stopping out because of it. So 2 losers today. 0 for 2. This kind of sucks. Not having a good day. Looking at VG real quick, just to go over to it. not having a good day trading, and my son is being a butt. Yeah, you're being a butt today. Want some more applesauce? Applesauce? Be right back, guys. You're not getting more of those, bud. I'm still. So yeah, looking at VG real quick. This thing had a nice drop. I mean, this is like the exact opposite of BE that we were just in, right? Big move, and then it formed a triangle just the opposite way, and then you got the break. Let's see what BE ended up doing. Yep, it's just chilling out up there. So ENPH is trying to come back down. Take a picture of my two losers here real quick. Big step forward for me, though. I'll tell you that. The fact that I had two losers, and I'm only sitting at my max loss per trade of $50, and that's two losers. That's pretty awesome. I'm gonna be pretty happy about that. Christian. One of my biggest principles is to get on trains that are already moving. Yeah. I mean, again, it's a super bullish market right now, and you know, I'm fighting it. I don't, you know, maybe there's part of me that needs to find, and you know, look for the intense moves. Like, right, I can still look for the intense moves, but maybe start looking for the washes at the open and playing those instead of looking to, you know, short into strength at the moment, right? Just because the market's so bullish. Not gonna lie, we were just talking about it in the ISW room, but the old me, guys, this happened so fast. The old me would have still been in this thing, and I would have been getting my ass handed to me. So the fact that I realized I mean, obviously I started early when this thing just kept going another 3 points. But we waited to get our final ad, and if it wanted to come back, okay. But obviously it didn't, and we cut, right? Beautiful. I can't ask for a better trade from myself. The only thing, to be honest, this should have probably been a max loss trade. So I really need to figure out what's going on with the share size. I feel like I'm misrepresenting myself with the share size, but yes and no, Christian, about waiting 15 minutes, because the biggest moves sometimes happen within the first 15 minutes. So they're kind of what I'm trying to be a part of. I know before market open, I told myself I have the strength to take losses and not be numb and watch today. Yep. And that was one of my biggest problems, was just sitting there and watching it go against me. Yeah, that was my problem too. I could sit here and make, a little amount over and over and over again, and then just out of nowhere, I decide to give it all back in one day. That was my biggest problem. But I told myself I wasn't going to do that no more. So here we are. The heck is... Oh, that stupid... Philip Hughes. I don't know if you guys can hear. Let me see. Yeah, you guys can hear. Sorry about that. There's nothing I can do. It just keeps going. It's about 60% done. Let's give it a sec. Almost done. Like 3 more. There it goes. Sorry about that. It like randomly does it every once in a while just to make sure everything pairs correctly. So we're just kind of waiting to see if anything wants to do something. Let's see. PUMP just had some like random volume. I do feel like the market is just in an interesting spot right now. Actually, let's see what it is doing. Yeah, I mean, it was strong right out of the gate. But I mean, just look at the daily. This thing's nuts. Everybody's just buying everything. So it's just like when we go back to BE real quick. Look at this thing. I need to just start flipping my position is what I need to start doing. I can't tell you how many times I keep saying I'm going to try it, but I keep saying I want to wait until I get a bigger cushion in my account. But how many times do you see this, right? I mean, look at this ascending triangle. It doesn't get much better than that. And the thing is, if you guys go back and look at a lot of my charts from the past in what is like a normal market, what I would consider a normal market, you get these big moves and you at least get a test of VWAP or something before you continue. But lately, you're not getting that like at all. Like let's take a look at ENPH. I mean, same thing. It's just super chat thing is just weird, man. Like just catches up whenever it wants. James, appreciate the super chat donation whenever it happened. It wasn't today, obviously. But yeah, look at ENPH, same thing. It never came down and actually touched VWAP until over here, and it still didn't even really touch it. It bounced right off of it. And everything is just so strong, and even on such an extended move. I mean, look how extended this is. Let's go back to yesterday. This thing was at 40 bucks, right? Gapped up from earnings, and look at this thing just ripped another 10 points, and it's just holding. Like that's ridiculous. That's the kind of market we're in right now. Crazy. VE is actually extending itself again here. At the 25. Let's take a right or right out trade here. Risk high a day. See if we can get back under 13 here. I'll just put it right above high a day. I mean, we're pretty extended here. Let's see what it wants to do. See if we can get a quick under 13 drop here. We won't even try to be greedy. Let's put the range. We'll put a range order in now that we got the stop in at least. So high range 13.26. Low range. What was the top of this candle? 12.96. So we'll just do 12.97. We still got some room. We'll see what it does if it gets down to 13. We'll see what kind of move it gives us. Can always move our stop down at that point. We got in at 13.17. Or I thought we did. 13.12 is what we got. I guess when I hit it, the bid dropped on us. There we go. Can always look to take half. We're going to take half off there just to kind of get us in the money because there's some, okay, there it broke right through. So that way, if it did break through, we can try to ride these back down towards VWAP a little bit. All those shares sitting there at 13 and it kind of stalled. I was kind of expecting it to maybe bounce back up real quick. That's why I took the half just in case. But now we can try to ride the rest of this down a little bit. See if maybe we can get to this 1285 area. There we go. Put them at 1281. See if it'll just give it to us. See if we can get that quick little flush down here. 88. Got my finger on the button because we're a little bit below where that previous resistance was. We'll put a range order in here. We'll stop them out if they go back over 13 as well. 1281 versus 1301. Some big size sitting there on the ask. All right, got our range order in. We'll be happy. So we're in a winner. Let's see what see if we can get down there to 81. If it wants to go back through 13, then we'll get stopped out. Keeps trying this big ask order here at 98. It's a real order. It's getting eaten through, so that's good. Probably could put the order at 12.99. I feel like if it goes through that order, it's going to go right through 13. Dang, now ENPH is going cray-cray to the downside. Just need that one little push down there to 81. Not trying to be greedy here. Even though we probably could get down there towards 1270, but I'll be happy with the 81 if it wants to give it to us. There we go, 89, 86. See if we can get that push down to 81. Keep my finger on the button here, just in case it wants to like put us on the bid and not fill us. We'll see what happens. 87. And we're popping back up to that big order at 98. There it goes. The odds are we're going to get, if this order gets eaten through, we're going to get, yeah, there it went. I don't really see this thing holding at 13 if it goes through an order like that, but we'll keep it at the whole dollar. There it is. And we're out. Okay, so, and we got the 1301. We gave a little bit back. Look at these bottoming tails, guys. This thing just is, it wants to grind higher. We were hoping to get a little bit more of a pullback there, but made some of our money back, so can't complain. We were just looking for that, again, we're looking for that VWAP to become a factor, but it's just, the market that we're in right now is just horrible. So at least we got a winner on the books, right? That always helps the confidence a little bit. And we read this right, so that's always good too. If you guys are here, don't forget to hit that like button. I don't know why I have so much trouble saying that. Hitting the like button, it might help everybody join the stream as well. Get some more eyes on us. Bring them to the channel that matters. Appreciate the support, as always. Still watching, just looking for thing. I mean, if VE wants to do this again, I mean, I'm more than happy to try it again. I'd have to see it up through 1350 though. Catch up here in the ISW chat. Dang, some craziness on ENPH from everybody. Yes, sir. March 1st, my CMEG account opens. Nice, Christopher. Nice, nice, nice. Use the code, right, to get the discounted trades. Not seeing anything going on in small cap land. Well, it's because earnings is going on. Usually when earnings is going on, small caps don't tend to run as much. BE is going to fail here under high of day. Okay, we shall see. 1325. SQ, no stopping. Yeah, I mean, look, guys, another one. SQ, big run, comes down, never touches VWAP. I mean, when do you see this? Usually you get like VWAP fake outs and stuff like that. I mean, these stocks are just not stopping. They're just, it's crazy. You didn't write it down. It's pretty much in every one of my videos. If you could give it to me again, that's what she said. That's funny. Yeah, just send them that's the code. It's down in the description too. So just email them and give them that. And then that way, when your account opens, you'll have the discounted trades. Oh, I know VWAP doesn't matter, but it's a pretty good focal point for a lot of the price action, right? A lot of the price action will come down and get back to the VWAP because that's just the average price that it's trading at. So it tends to come down and touch that area before it wants to continue even higher. But I totally agree with you. VWAP does not matter. Don't even get me started with these other indicators. I'm definitely not talking about that. Look, I've said in the past, I don't use those. I've used them in the past. To me, they don't work. But if you have a strategy where it works, then by all means, use it. I don't even agree with having VWAP on the chart. I just like using it as a visual indicator of how extended a stock is. That's really the only reason I have it there. But over the course of time and through experience, I've seen that most times when stocks get overextended, they'll try to come down and touch VWAP before they continue. Where you have something like BE, this thing has never even came close. It's just holding a trend line above it. So again, I don't mean anything bad by this, but I've tried all of that stuff. Trust me. The first 6 to 8 months of my trading career, I tried everything. I mean, just everything. So trust me, if you think that you have something that I haven't tried, feel free to let me know. But a mean reversion, yeah, definitely something I've tried. And so far, it looks like Christian's right. It does look like it's trying to deny here. Could be another good spot to write or write out, to be honest. I'm using TTM squeeze and EMAs, no VWAP, no volume. And like I said, yeah, there's 1,000 different ways to make money in the market, guys. Like literally 1,000, more than 1,000. There has to be more than 1,000. So you need to find whatever works for you. That's the key. That is the key. That is also true. You need a much bigger sample size than a week of trading. Exactly. Yeah, you need to start trading a strategy, and you need to trade it for a long time. Like 112, I traded this from February until now, really. Like, so I know what to look for over the course. Like, I know that it's pretty typical that when you get into a stock, it's going to go down and test VWAP. Like, I've seen it happen over and over and over again. So that's what I'm looking for when I get into these stocks. So when it doesn't, it's pretty easy to know that, okay, we're obviously in a very bullish stock. This thing's just going to continue up, especially when you have obvious indicators like an ascending triangle and, you know, stuff like that. I tend, and actually looking back, I added this is actually RSI down here on the bottom part of my chart. I actually added this just to kind of watch it, not really to use it. And I did notice over here, we actually were above that key area, and we kind of were too when we jumped in the first time. I didn't even realize that I jumped in on the back end of this thing, but I guess I did. Excuse me. And there you go. It's rejected back under 13 there on BE. Not gonna lie, if it was a little higher, I was gonna try the right or right out again, but that spread was a little iffy there. But it would have worked. put in your channel if you're interested. All right, let me see. See how the squeeze is gray and falling down? It means the push is over and it's just congesting, not aiming for new high of day. See how the TTM... I don't even... What does TTM mean? I don't even know what that means. Oh, is that one of the indicators down the bottom? I see what you're saying. Yeah, but that's such in hindsight, though. That's like a momentum indicator. I used to use something like that. It was called like PMS, I think. It's on Thinkorswim, like the PMS indicator. I think is what it was called. And it was like the same exact thing. It like had two different bar colors, and it would show you kind of when it's going. But it's the past. It's working off of the past, so you can't really judge it correctly. Oh, well, if you're scalping, that's fine. I'm not really looking to scalp per se. I'm looking for the bigger move down. But yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying. Yeah, BE's looking like it's going back up. So now we're coming up for a triple top on BE. That usually means it's going to go through. ENPH is finally back down to where I would probably be about break even. I need this because even when it's clearly bullish trend, I need to get in on the pushes up. Otherwise, you'll lose money longing the super volatility. Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree. Like, again, like I said, there's thousands of different ways. I feel like I've just made things so much more simple for myself. I can kind of like see all of those things that I've used in the past, including what you're talking about. I can kind of just see that in the chart now. The more and more you trade, the more and more you start to just kind of see that stuff. And again, I mean, it's not. Everyone can sit here and like look at my chart in hindsight and be like, oh yeah, that was clearly going to be a loser. Well, guess what? If it would have went down and I would have won, you could do the same thing. I mean, hindsight is always going to be 20/20, right? That's why everyone is so obsessed with EMAs and, you know, the kind of like the thing that you showed me because when they do work, they're like, oh, look at this. Look at this. It showed you exactly what it was going to do. And it's like, yeah, okay. We'll keep trading it. Let me know over the course of 1,000 trades how it does, right? Even 100 trades. You can't just sit here and like nitpick one or two trades and say, oh, I told you this indicator works, blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm not saying it doesn't. Don't get me wrong. And I'm not trying to be rude. I'm just saying you need a much bigger sample size, and you also need to consistently trade it the exact same way every single time. So I know that this system that I'm using works, right? I've proven that in the past. And in the past, I've also proven that my biggest weakness is I fight stocks when they're not working for me. So to be completely honest, the fact that we're getting a bunch of these where I have to cut at high of day and stuff like that, that's amazing. Like, to me, it's amazing. I'm proving to myself that I'm fixing the issue that was costing me lots of money in the past, right? So the fact that we're in a very bullish market, it's kind of teaching me, hey, I need to realize what's going on. I can't be like, oh, well, guess what? This never touched VWAP. We're still super extended. I'm just going to add to this thing. Because look at it. If I would have still been in this from way down here, it never even came back down towards 1280. It never even got under 1280 again. So I would have still been fighting this thing 100%, and we never even came back down at all, right? I would still be in this thing. Like, I probably right now would be like, okay, I tried again, and I would probably finally be cutting it at high of day if it got there, right? After all of that. Like, that's the old me. I would have been doing that. But now, look at what I did. I got a good position size, and I cut it high day, and then we ended up getting back in. We actually made some of that money back. So I'm actually pretty happy with it, to be completely honest. ENPH, this thing just is stupid. Here we go, trying high day on BE. I would think it's going to go through this time. Knives says, well said, you got the right mentality. Thanks, man. No, Christian, you're not getting on my nerves, man. I want to talk. This is what I want. I want you guys to engage. I'm not trying to argue with you. I'm just telling you how I do it, and I'm telling you that you are more than capable of doing it a different way. Everybody is. Everybody can trade a different way. There's nothing wrong with what you're doing. If it works for you, do it. That's what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm trying to get at overall. I'm just trying to tell you that this is what works for me, right? I've tried, and that's all I'm saying is I've tried all those other things. Back before I started YouTube, I tried everything. And I'm not saying I stopped trying them because they didn't work. I'm just saying that I stopped trying them because it just wasn't for me, right? It didn't fit my trading style overall. That's all I was getting at. Knives, my risk reward right now, the reward is kind of iffy because I'm playing with a higher win percentage strategy. So my risk on any given trade is 1R is what we'll base it off of. But I would say on average, we're getting about like 0.6-ish R per win. But my win percentage trading this strategy is also 80% plus. So that's kind of where I stand with that. So if we want to pull the calculator out. So if we take 0.6 times 8, that's 4.8. And then if we take 1, so it's just 2, so it would be minus 2. So technically every 10 trades, we should be making about 2.8 R if I'm making about 0.6 R per trade with 80% win rate. I do partials. As you can see, I tried to do a partial here, but that was just because of where we were on the chart. If I get full size, and that's the other problem is I am using such a smaller share size right now as I try to build the account, that I am struggling with, it's hard to take partials because like on ENPH, I started that thing with 3 shares. I did 3 shares, 3 shares, and then 6 shares for my 1-1-2 strategy. So it's really hard to scale out of 12 shares, right? You can, but it's hard. So I feel like if that was even 30, 30, 60, 120 shares, you can actually scale out of something that's moving like that. But to scale out even down to 6 shares to take half, it's like how much more can you make off of 6 shares? I mean, granted, you can make a decent amount, but it's like when you're playing with commissions and stuff like that, it tends to kind of suck. So that's kind of why I don't scale out as much right now. I try to just, pick a good spot and take all of it. But as we grow the account, you definitely will start to see more scaling. That's for sure. Out, that is. Yeah, no problem. By the way, for anybody that is new here, my name's Tim, so you don't have to sit here and call me volatility or whatever. People call me VT. Some people call me Tim. Call me whatever you want, but just letting you know. Feel free to, if you're not subscribed, Knives, hopefully your profile is public, so when you do subscribe, it'll give you the nice, cool notification saying welcome to the channel. But yeah, if there's anything I was trying to get at there, Christian, it was more so the mentality of everything, kind of like Knives said. Volatility. Oh, I see what you did there. VT. T is in Tom. Tim. That's actually fun. T is in Tim, which is my name. Volatility. I like that. Oh, you guys are probably going to hear that. My account's sitting right around $7,000 right now. I have no problem. And that's the other thing, too, is when you come here, I have no problem showing you guys my stuff. I'm not like all the other guys who hide that stuff. So, yeah, we're sitting at 71.28. So, after... Will you stop, mister? So, after today, we'll be a little under 7,100. Hey, can you stop? They can hear that. You can do that later, just not right now. I don't really use that much buying power. I mean, I guess it depends on the price of the stock, right? If I'm trading 10 shares of a $10 stock, it's only going to be $100. But if I trade 10 shares of $1,000 stock or $100 stock, it's going to be 1,000. Yeah, I don't really use leverage that much. You don't have to. That's the thing, guys. Especially when you're growing a small account, you don't have to really use too much leverage. I mean, granted, I do have 6-to-1 if I ever do need it, but I don't. What are you doing, mister? I got about 19 minutes left. Can you just let me be? Here, let's go over here. You want to come over here? Daddy's going to turn the oven on. You want to make some cheese crisps for later? Cheese crisps? Gotta heat up. Say it's gotta heat up. table. Ugh. Sorry about that. Hey, look, ENPH is going back up. So is BE. SPCE's climbing again. That thing is crazy. Sure is. So, let me catch back up. Honestly, don't use leverage if you're not profitable over half a year consistently. I mean, you don't have to. Like I said, you don't really have to use it. Yeah, buying power leverage, kind of same thing. Where did you start your account at? 5,000 is where I started. EMPH trying to climb again. BE's at high of day. Sorry, I was getting him some buffalo chicken dip. The dude loves it. So looking to get out of here around 11 o'clock. So we got about 13 minutes. I'm kind of interested in BE here. I'd love to see it go through and make a little bit of a run. The daily on BE is just all green too. Interesting. Like if we go over here to the daily, look at this thing. It's like all green. It even gapped all the way down and then had another green day. Pretty crazy. So we're right. This is the original. When I jumped into this trade, the reason my share size was a little bit smaller is because this is the original line I had drawn, if you remember, because I was looking to risk off of this area right here on the daily. But as you can see, it never really got to it. Now we're on again in another ascending triangle. If you want to draw it out here. Right, got the top here. It's tested it 3 times now, and we just keep making higher lows. Nowhere near VWAP. I'd like to see what this thing does if it busts through and tries to get up there towards 1350. It'd be nice to see some volume come in and actually run up there quickly. I'd be actually interested in playing it. What do you mean, good CMEG? That's kind of a loaded piece of text there. You want some more applesauce too? Does applesauce and buffalo chicken dip go together? For anybody that's on the keto diet, by the way, I tried these taco shells just made out of a Mexican cheese blend. I decided yesterday, instead of doing that, to make like these little chips out of the same stuff. You literally cook them the exact same way. Oven 350, make little like round circles of cheese, stick them in there for 6 minutes, and let them dry. Let them harden up. And they're basically cheese chips. They're amazing. Amazing. What route were you using there? Smart route. If you use just a regular market limit or market, whatever however you want to say it, it will use the smart route. Yes. I just leave it on. I just use market and limit. That's the only two that I use. And the only time I ever use a market is on my stops. I always use markets on my stops because I've had a bad experience several times trying to use limit orders for stops. And sometimes it just goes right through and you never get filled. So I'd rather take like a 3-4 cent slippage instead of trying to get an exact price right over a certain high and just getting completely skipped, and it be something like this where it just continues even higher. Like I'm just using this as an example, but when we stopped out, it did come back down and test it, but imagine it just kept on going, right? And then you're just kind of a deer in headlights at that point. And that's actually how OCX happened, or not OCX. Actually, it wasn't any of the big losses, but there was a medium loss in there somewhere, like a $400 loss. I think it was 300, where that happened. And I was like, I want it to come back down. Hopefully it's a fake out. And then it just never came back down. And I ended up letting it get away from me. Well, ever since SureTrader went down, CMEG is the only option left. Yeah, it is. But CMEG's been good. They've been solid. I haven't had any issues with them. I actually switched to CMEG before SureTrader had shut down. I've been with CMEG for almost a year now. I've never had any issues with them. I did have the one issue, but that was a holiday, and it was just a mix-up. It wasn't like a mistake or anything. They thought that they were open longer than they actually were on a half trading day. And so, but they took care of it. They worked it out. I have been trading since August of 2018. That is how long I've been trading. So about, what was that, a year and 6 months? I honestly feel through, just to give you guys a quick little spiel, since I've started, I feel like just recently I've finally started to feel like I figured this out. Like I feel like I'm to the point now where I am ready to just hammer down my strat 100% and trade it the exact same way every single time. And I'm starting to see charts like a lot better. So I'm ready. I feel like I'm ready to just, push forward, right? I'm ready to prove to myself that I can start hitting quotas on a daily basis and scale my account. Obviously, I want to get to 10 grand before I even think about scaling up. That's kind of the idea. I mean, again, risk management is number one. It's always number one. Do not ever get too big, right? Getting too big, it will take you out of the game. The whole point of trading, you'll hear it from all the professionals, even the gurus, that they tell you risk management is key. It's number one. Because if you're out of the game, you can't make money. So you need to always keep in mind that you're here to make money in the long run. If you're here just starting out and you don't have any idea what you're doing and you're just throwing all your money at the market, the odds are you're going to lose. And when you lose, you're going to be like, oh, crap, I guess I didn't know what I was doing. And that's it. You're just going to be done. You're going to be a statistic at that point. So if you're just starting, or even if you are about a year in, like I am, just remember, I am, if you go back, the definition of why risk management needs to be number one, because I've proven to you that I can make money with this strategy, but I also proved to you that I did not manage my risk very well, and I gave most of it back when I had those big losers. So. Exactly. Knives said it better than I did. What's one trade? What's 10 trades when you have a lifetime of trades left? And that's the thing. Like I was saying earlier, you can't sit here and nitpick one or two trades, right? Any given day, you can tell me that I traded something wrong in hindsight, right? Anybody can do that, right? There's tons of YouTube channels. If you want to go watch a YouTube channel where they talk about how they could have or would have or should have took a trade in hindsight, then go for it. You can go watch them. But guess what? Actually trading live and being able to make cuts like this and seeing that you're right in hindsight, that's completely different. To sit here and say, oh, if I would have got in here, I obviously would have cut here when it went high of day. Well, guess what? That's not always true. Not everyone's emotions play the same role, right? It took me a year and a half to get to this point where I can say with confidence, I am 100% fine cutting this. And how many times have you guys seen me? I'll cut and it'll be high of day. Like I've top ticked so many times being wrong, but guess what? How many times do you also see it continue like this is, right? So if you want to go back and find that one trade where I top ticked it and be like, oh, you should have known that was going to be a fake out breakout. Okay. Well, guess what? That was one out of how many, right? It's more inclined to continue when you get stopped out at high of day like that than it is to be a fake out. Fake outs happen, but it's not as high of a percentage as they continue like this is. It's just a statistic, right? It's back testing. So again, that is what you need to realize is you need to start basing things off of a large number of trades, not just one or two. Hey, no. You are not about to make a mess. I'm gonna put this in another bowl. What happened to all your celery? You threw it all on the floor. I don't know why the dogs keep following you around because they don't like celery. Get your celery. Don't drop it. They're not going to eat it anyway. You eat it. What's your main setup? My main setup is shorting into overextended stocks. That's the main setup. And I look for resistance on the daily. That's really the simplistic answer for that. So like take BE for example, like I had told you, if we scroll in on the daily here, I was looking for this area right here, this 1320 area. So I'll just draw it real quick. So you can see it was used as resistance a bunch of times there. So 1333 area. So when I jumped in, I took my share size based on that. So we were around 1250. I said that was about 75 cents away. We had 60 shares. So I split 60 shares into 3. So I started with 15, 15, and then 30, right? So that's exactly what I did. Followed my plan. I realized as it was kind of topping here that if we hit where my stop loss was, which was at 1278, that I was going to be under my max risk, which was $50 a trade right now. So that's why I added some share size as close to that as possible, looking to just, if it wanted to fail, we would have had more share size because we had less risk. We actually could have took more share size there, right? I'm trying to get as much size as I can and build into a position when possible. I don't always look to add in like I did here. It just kind of felt like it was the back end, and unfortunately, it just kept getting bought up. So it just didn't work this time. But the idea is to start a position, and if it wants to run up towards that resistance, I'll get one entry, and then another one, say around like 13, and then the final one up here around 1333, right? That would be the ideal scaling into a position and building a position. And then you look for the move back down. So, and it would be a 1-1-2. So it would be 15, 15, and then 30. and then look for the drop back down. That's the idea if you start it early. That's kind of what we were doing on ENPH. If we want to take a look at it real quick. So we got one. We had the key break, so we got in right under 50. We got 49.40, and then this thing just started ripping. So we got in over 50 as well, and then we waited. We waited for that last ad as much as we could, kind of felt the top, which we were right, and we got 52.44, and the high of this candle was 53.44. So as it was coming back down, we put our order out there to get out of this because we realized we started a little bit early, but we still could have made some money on it. But as you can see, it just kept ripping. So we cut it at high of day. And look, the old me would not have cut this, right? We ended up cutting it right at high of day. We got out, and this thing just kept ripping. And it did not even come down even close to this until a lot later, like almost an hour later. Well, yeah, close, about 45 minutes. So, and you don't know that that's going to happen. It's funny. I actually drew a chart because somebody in ISW had mentioned they took a loss on this as well. And they were mad at themselves because it came back down and they would have made money, right? And I said, well, you can't look at it that way. And I was like, would it make you feel better if you had seen the chart go the opposite direction? So I drew this for him. Let's see if I can get it up there. So I drew this just so that, you know, I could make them feel better. And I was like, would it really make you feel better if it looked like that? Because in hindsight, what does it matter? It's all hindsight at that point. You can't say, oh, because the stock did this, I'm mad now, right? You chose the trade. You traded it, hopefully to follow your plan. Whatever it does after you're out of that trade does not mean anything. It should not matter one bit. So you can't look at things in hindsight. You have to trade your plan in the moment and accept it, right? You have to accept that risk every single time. And that's part of trading. Sometimes it's going to do this. But, I mean, even me, I'm pretty happy, right? We cut all the way down here at 53.70, and this thing made a high of 57.57. That's another 4 points, right? I don't want to sit in this thing for another 4 points. That's kind of scary, right? Even though it came back, what if it didn't? What if it looked like that chart that I drew and it went through 60 and just kept on ripping? You don't know what the market's going to do. The odds are when it gets super extended like this, you are going to get some sort of pullback, but it's not guaranteed. It's not guaranteed, guys. Look at Tesla. Look at Dryship. Look at all the ones that HUNT. Look at all the ones that didn't do that. What was the other one? Tilray. Like, look at all those guys. Nice. Did I earn your subscription? There we go. Appreciate that, man. So, nice. I got the opposite setup. Open out into support to long open washout. No, that's a great. We call that I just call it the dip and rip. And that's what we were looking for on ENPH. This thing was on earnings. Like if we scroll out, this thing gapped up on earnings. We were looking for this to dip at the open to long it to get this move. But look what it did right before it opened. It just shot up. So it kind of changed the theory. Like you can't obviously go long. You're just chasing at that point, right? There's no way you can go long when it's overextended like that. But it started to extend itself, and I was like, holy crap, if this thing gets to 50, 50 is like a big mental area for a lot of people, right? So that's why I wanted to start it right around 50 because I thought it might be used as a hard resistance. Well, I was wrong. So I ended up following my plan accordingly just in case, and we got stopped out. So it is what it is, right? We were hoping that it would come back down and test 50, and this thing was just strong out of the gate. It happens, right? We accepted our risk. We made the trade, and we were wrong. So yeah, it definitely would have been a chase to the long side. I changed my bias on it right as the bell happened because if you remember, if you go back and watch it, I even said, I was like, we're looking for this to be a dip and rip. I didn't use those words, I don't think, but I was looking for this to wash out and then get long. I even said it was a long, and then when it made this move at the bell, I was like, right before the bell and at the bell, I was like, okay, I'm changing my bias, and I decided to play it short, and unfortunately, it didn't work. It is what it is, right? It happens. Move on. BE is just kind of doing its thing. It kind of broke its ascending triangle there, but it's also just kind of consolidating. Honestly, this is usually when you do get that pullback to VWAP. Keeps getting bought up though. It's kind of crazy. $26. Thinking about jumping in here, just small share size, just to play a. I missed it there. Now it's not 1-to-1. I was gonna look for a 1-to-1. I mean, I guess it would still be pretty close. See if it pops back up a little bit right here. We're gonna play a 1-to-1 off high of day. Could even use this pivot point of 13-14. Maybe we'll do that. See if it wants to break 13. Let's jump in. We'll use 13-14 as our stop here. Just get that in real quick. Or 13-15, sorry. I'm gonna go one above it. And then we'll put a range order in. You need to stop putting your bowl on the floor, bud, or they're just always gonna eat it. All right, sorry about that. There's a 13 break. So we're at 13.05. So if we're risking 10 cents, that would mean we need 13.85, right? Or 12.85. Let's clear 12.85 by, or well, we'll put the we'll make it a range order. 12.85, 13.15. Get rid of this. There we go. So we'll look for a 1-to-1 trade here. Just something to kind of close the day out. See if it wants to give it to us. There's a pop right back over 13. Well, we're kind of using that pivot point here of 13.14. 12.85 would almost be perfect. Although we got these candles over here. The low is 12.88, 12.87. It might be tough. It might try to use that as support as well. I'm thinking we might try to get this VWAP touch finally. We started a little bit of a downward trend here. There we go, back down. Appreciate it, Knives. Yeah, it did sound like we were kind of on the same page there. Need to try to get the ask under 13, and then I think we can start trying to move down here. It's the market maker playing games. Looks like they're trying to hold it as support. Absolutely no reason to get out of this thing. Definitely in what looks to be a downward trend right now. And that's why we use these pivot points too, because if it wants to climb back up to that area and go through, it would no longer be in this downward trend, right? That's the idea. That's the trade idea. So I have the range order set for now. I'm actually going to go put some stuff on in the oven real quick, so I'll be right back. I didn't hear any orders go off yet. We're still just sitting right here at 13, huh? B needs that lower low and it's gone. Yep, I agree. Just needs to get under this 1298 area. That's why I said I wanted to see 13 kind of hold on the ask. But now we need to get back through it. And it's kind of just dying off here. But it's also, you know, some people see this as holding support. If we can get through 13, I feel like we're going to get a nice little flush here. Just put some cheese in the oven. Give me some of them cheese chips. My son loves them too, so it's much easier. ENPH, NBE, now I gotcha. LK stopped me out to now run fun stuff. Yeah, LK, I've played that thing in the past to the short side, but we haven't had shares on that in a while. There we go. We're at 13 again. Just need to get through. There we go. Selling through. Hopefully there's not a hidden buyer there. We were almost through there. We only had 100 shares. There we go. Looks like they're trying to flash the bid there at $12.99. Yeah, I can't drink beer on keto unless I find something that's like super low carb. And we're getting within 100 shares there a bunch of times. Just need that little bit of a push. There, the big piece stepped up there at 13. I get wasted on the first pill. Oh, Pilsner. It's kind of scary. Yeah. Yeah, I'd probably get drunk pretty quick, to be honest, if I drank right about now. I'm pretty clean at the moment. I'm definitely in ketosis. I've been in ketosis for a while now. Probably about a week and a half, almost 2 weeks. This dog. Uh-oh. Getting the pop back up here. People are looking at it as support. Still going to use the same pivot point. Some people would say 1305 is a new pivot point, but we'll give it that room. We're in kind of small, so not a big deal. Oh, there it goes. Trying to squeeze back up here. What a boring trade. It tried to get through 13, but it just couldn't do it. I definitely think if we try 13 again here, though, we're going to go through. I think people are going to realize, okay, we're in a little bit of a downtrend. Or it could just be the support that we were talking about. People might be looking at that as support, looking to go higher. But that's the beauty of it. We got our range order in. We've accepted the risk on it. We're just looking for a 1-to-1 either way. And we'll see what happens. Pretty simple for us. Either it works or it doesn't. Decided to take this one last little stab at it. Let me go grab this out of it. Careful. Oh no. Oh, there is a big set of orders sitting there at the pivot point. So we put our stop in the right place. Look at all those shares just chilling there at 13.14. Sometimes they'll get eaten all at once, though, if somebody wants to cover a position that has a larger position that was kind of holding it down at the top, which I'm sure they don't want to because that's really not that big of a winner. Let's see what it does. But it's kind of confirmation that we put our stop in the right spot, right? If it wants to go through 13.14, it'll be a higher pivot point area, right? It'll go back through that pivot point, and that'll just be a sign that it wants to go higher, right? So we were wrong, right? You got to accept when you're wrong. But it's going to take a little bit for it to get through. Oh, as I say that, big chunk went bye-byes. Yep, it turned out to be a pretty good stop. Unfortunately, with only using 50 shares, it's probably going to give us a little bit of slippage because I don't see anything sitting there at 13.15. So it's probably going to print right to 13.16, which is kind of weird. Oh, there we go. There's something there now. But sometimes not being direct to market and using these smart routes, you end up only getting filled what the market is actually putting through, and there it is right there. So we're on the ask. See if we actually get filled here. Yep, and there it is. I figured once a print went through at 13.15, we would get stopped, so. And of course. But it is what it is. Again, like that was just a quick write or write out trade. It wasn't for that big a share size anyway, so I was just kind of taking one last little stab at it, seeing if it finally wanted to break down. But again, it's the kind of market we're in, guys. This thing wants nothing to do with the VWAP area, so at least not yet. But all right, well, I'm gonna get out of here, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll put my video out a little bit later. Most likely not going to be doing the actual trade recap. Maybe I will on like ENPH because it's kind of a good lesson there to be learned as far as cutting the loss when something goes crazy like it did. But as far as BE goes, there really isn't much to talk about there. It was just 3 separate trades. 2 of them just didn't work, and one it did work, and that's that. So unfortunately, maybe we got a little bit of a top tick here because as of right now, that was the top. But it happens, right? The odds are this thing wants to continue higher when it breaks that pivot point. So if it wanted to fake us out and then go lower, then oh well, right? We're looking for lower highs each and every single time. So if they were stop hunting there, then so be it. It kind of sucks, but whatever. I'm going to get out of here. I will see you guys tomorrow morning. And yeah, have a good rest of your day. Peace.